Hi, this is Margaret Hirsch, and welcome to On the Move with Margaret, where I interview people who inspire me and who I think will inspire you, and just the most amazing people that I find in my journey around the world. And today I've got with me the beautiful Dorothy van Church, who I believe is one of the best interior decorators in the world, but definitely the best in Africa. And I've known Dorothy for many years, and she has got such an amazing story to tell. So, Dorothy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Margaret.
And it's lovely to have you here.
Fabulous to be here.
And let's just go back.
Excited and good to see you.
Let's go back to the beginning when you first started. Where were you when you started out?
I started 30 years ago, and I had qualified as a maths teacher. I did a degree in psychology. I had been to medical school for only 2 years, and I had two little girls, and my husband was killed.
Oh my God.
And so I had two little girls that I had to literally feed and find a way forward in the world. So I was doing decor. I was doing whatever it took to feed my girls. And I had many little projects that came along my way. One of them was a person that had a big computer company, and my best friend was one of the directors. And she said, "Would you do my computer stand for us? And I'll give you, I think in those days, 100 rand." And that would have fed the girls.
Oh, wow.
You know, and so I said, "Sure, no problem." And I loaded my little yellow Renault up, and I went and I was on site, and I had the computers. In those days, it was at Nasrec. And I started putting up their computers, the stands, the plants, everything I could take from my home was all being used to make their computer stand look stunning. But then as I was going along, I saw this person standing there, and I wondered who he was. Maybe he was a security guard, and I needed help. So I said, "Do you mind coming to help me?" And so he came and helped me, and we worked together for about 3 or 4 hours. He was helping me and doing this, doing that, helping me put this up, put that, move the computers. And then then I said to him, "Do you mind just vacuuming so we can just finish this
I
off?"
love that. I love
So,
that.
"Do you mind just vacuuming?" And the computer company was Don Gray in those days, a really well-known company. And my very best friend, she was part of Don Gray. And so I had him vacuuming, and then we stepped back together. I said, "Come have a look. Don't you think the stand looks stunning?" And he goes, "It's fabulous." And I said, "I really hope that Don Gray loves it." And he goes, "I am Don Gray."
Oh, wow.
He says, "I've had the best afternoon of my life."
Oh,
He
God.
said, "I've had the absolute best afternoon. I love the work. I love how hard you work. I love your creativity.
Yeah.
I've got offices in the Carlton Centre. Please come and please would you mind coming to do them?" And I said, "Of course." I was there. We did his offices, and he called his friend downstairs, Anderson Consulting senior partner, and he said, "Come see my offices." And this guy goes, "Well, I've also got offices."
Oh, my goodness.
But
Isn't that amazing?
before we did his offices, it was just like he had a few certificates to be framed. And he said, "Do you mind just framing these?" So found a framer. And I said, "I'll have them back on Friday." And when I drove into Commissioner Street in those days, remember, Margaret?
Yes, you could
There
drive.
was like toy-toying, and there was ASA guys and these guys toy-toying. I had my little yellow Renault, and I was hooting and hooting and hooting as I was going. And this little yellow Renault was wending its way through the traffic. And little did I know that senior partner was looking down. And I took all the certificates up, and I was there at 3:00. Be on time. Keep to your word. Deliver with excellence. Up I went with my high heel shoes, one and only pair, Hilti nail. He goes, "I cannot believe what I saw." I said, "I cannot believe you went all the way through this traffic and everything, let alone traffic, like as a guy traffic." I said, "But I told you I'd be here at 3. And I think that's been the success of my business, is that I'm so client-centered and so orientated on delivering at my word.
Yes.
And I have a natural skill and a natural talent, and I've kept learning and I've kept growing until now. I do work internationally, you know, and I've just grown the business over the years. But it was such small beginnings and so determined to make sure that my girls were well educated.
Yes.
As you know, one's a human rights lawyer.
Yes.
And she does incredible work in changing the world. And Sam is an architect and he really runs a fantastic practice.
Yeah.
And so all those years of hard work, but giving to my client that level of excellence, the level of creativity, keeping abreast of the trends.
Dorothy, often people think about interior decorators. They think it's just a matter of putting a few cushions on the couch and painting a different color here and there. Tell us about the 5 senses that you involve in your design.
Sure. If only it was that easy. It's not about cushions and scatters. It's so much more. And well, let me just share. You spoke about the 5 senses, and it's not only about 5 senses and putting a beautiful candle that smells nice.
Yes.
So the way I've worked my designs over the years is my own design formula, let's call it. So it's in the shape of a triangle. And the bottom rung is creativity and inspiration. And so what is creativity and how is inspiration? And how does that all work together? So creativity, people think, oh, I've got to be creative in order to do this.
Yes.
So I'll just explain a little bit about that creativity. It's more mindset. It's actually a mindset. We all have seeds of creativity deep within us.
Absolutely.
So within each single human being, I totally believe there's seeds of creativity that are lying dormant, just like seeds in the ground.
Yeah.
And, seeds in the ground need a little bit of water to spark that growth.
Yes.
And as human beings, what we need with our creativity is inspiration.
Yes.
To spark that creativity. So if we've got a mindset of growth and a mindset of being observant and observing and being attentive to our surroundings, that creativity within us can keep developing and that inspiration. So what are the seeds? How do we get inspired? We get inspired from nature.
Yes.
Nature's a huge inspiration to me. From travel.
Yes.
From fashion.
Yeah.
From design shows. And so inspiration for me is the bottom rung of my ladder. And so I can, when I start a project, for example, when I've just finished in Midstream in Johannesburg, my inspiration was this big mound of dolomite rock. I picked up this beautiful rock and I looked at it and I went, the colors in here are amazing. And suddenly my brain started working about the colors, the texture. And so it starts with that rung of creativity, inspiration, and then I take it a couple of steps up. And this is how I do my mini-series. I developed a mini-series on, we're busy doing the videos to do the mini-series online. And then I take it to the design principles and elements. So that's your next level. And that's things like texture, line, form, shape, focal point. And so all of those things are really important in design to make sure you've got enough pattern, color. Do we have lines, horizontal lines, or is it all vertical lines, or is everything horizontal? Do we have a focal point in the room? So that's all the theory, let's say, of design. And then you could step back and say, I've got my inspiration. It's creative. I've got all the focal point right. I've got enough color. I've got texture. I've got shapes, forms. I've got all of the theory right. But there's something missing. So that's where the 5 senses come in. So the 5 senses come in over and above that layer. And you go, what is needed here? We need fragrance. We need sight. Maybe there's a beautiful view out there. Allow that view to come in. Sound. It's beautiful music. And so the 5 senses plays a vital role in interior design. And then again, you go, what is missing? There's something, this place doesn't have soul and energy.
And what about the energy?
It's the energy. Why is this energy missing? And what I've realized it is the personal touches. So when I add the personal touches of my clients, like whatever is important to them, I bring in their personal touches. And then we get that sense of emotional well-being. And that's what design is about, is to get it to that point of emotional well-being. I love my space. This is my space. And it's telling my client's story. So it's not about this magnificent Dorothy design. So at the apex of that is that, oh, wow. It's like, I love the space. So whether it's the client's home, whether it's his office, whatever it is I'm handing over to my client, it's about their story.
Yeah.
And the energy of what is the energy in that room. And that's what design is about, is to get you to that position of mental and emotional well-being, that you love the space. I have the most incredible clients. Every client, I really love working with them. I had a tricky client that was a bit difficult, and he kind of goes, well, when Dorothy comes, it's just all about how expensive this is going to be in design. It's so expensive, and everything's so expensive in design. So anyway, we went through the process, and when I handed over, he phoned me the next day and he goes, I love that room you did so much. I actually slept there.
Oh, wow.
So good design does cost, obviously,
Yes.
Because we use the best qualities and the best contractors, etc. But the fact is, the emotional well-being and the energy that was in that room,
you can't put a price on.
You can't put a price on that.
So, Dorothy, tell me about color, because you and I both love color. But most people, they love the beige and the whites and the cream and the champagne. And it's just, I go to a hotel room and it just looks so bland because I love color. But people walk into my house, which is full of color, and they say, "Oh my God, this is so busy." So tell me about that feeling.
So I think colors, as I said, part of the design elements and the principles. And when God created the earth, he created it with color.
Absolutely.
It wasn't created black and white. If you think about it, there's, when you see a sunset or a sunrise, it's the colors that you go, those colors are amazing. So I think the key is to actually be contextual in the color that, as a designer, one is using. For example, at the coast, where it's hot, and it's a holiday relaxed home, one would use beautiful calm blues and colors pastels. It's more the colors of the sea, and blue is a calming color, whereas the orange is dynamic and filled with energy. Yellow is vibrant. You'd use that. Strangely enough, they use oranges and reds and vibrant colors in kindergartens, and you'd think that use like calm colors. But color has a massive impact on one's emotions, and I think contextually one has to actually work as to where we are designing. Yes. What is the function of the room? How long are the people going to be in that room, and design around that. I do find that certain clients do start off with, I don't know what color I like, or I'm afraid of color, and I think it's more like being afraid of color as opposed to embracing it. So I start by saying it's only a coat of paint. If we don't like it, change it. And then people gravitate into a space of, really, I'm loving this beautiful teal that you've put up here.
I love teal.
And I like to take, when we're doing the interior architecture, because we do a lot of interior architecture on our projects, we'll take a big wall and have that as a deep teal or a charcoal or something, a feature, and to use color as a feature.
But now tell me, you've worked mostly in Africa, but now you've worked all over the world, Malaysia, UK, all over. How different is the decor there? I mean, my flat in America is so different from everybody else's flat in America. They walk in and they say, "Oh my goodness," they don't know what to say when they see it the first time, because it's so different from what they used to. So tell us about it. How do you adapt to the country? Do you adapt to the client? How do you work out what you're going to do?
But I find where I get my inspiration from is, well, firstly, the context I'm working in. Let's start with the client. It's I start with what the client's brief is. It kind of starts with, I want a high energy, high tech, very modern, clean lines home, uncluttered. I'll come to clutter in a moment. And so that starts defining what the client is looking for. And then within the actual environment, what are we designing? Are we on a game farm? Are we in Botswana? Are we in Zimbabwe? Where actually are we? And then most certainly what also defines that is the architectural drawings. Also direct the thing. For example, when we did a project in Rwanda, a presentation, we brought in the Rwandese elements, and I would always like going to the marketplace and
The fabrics
and mix with the
and
people
colour.
and find out what the people are about and bring that in a modern way.
Yeah.
You know, so to bring the roots in, but modernize it and bringing in the client's brief, bringing in the architectural design.
Yeah.
So it's like subtly combining so many elements, but not losing sight of what the roots are.
Yeah. Amazing.
And so I found that fascinating. Like when we did a project in Kalumba, and we had to do a show unit. It was for a big bank developer. And that actually started, by the way, with a client we'd done here, who then was working in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And he was in a big board meeting, and the chairman said, we need somebody to do this development with us that can put the wow factor in.
And he said,
and he puts his hands up, he goes, I know a lady in South Africa. And next minute we were on a flight, and the guy goes, you know, apparently you can get the wow factor.
I'm the wow.
And so you see how that just is that
you never know when you're going to meet somebody or somebody who's spoken to you, who's going to put you forward. You never know how.
And we've done the offices in Rosebank, you know, along Jan Smuts. You saw our name there. And we did it within time, within budget, you know, all the things the client wants. And then he recommended us like 8 years later.
Oh, wow.
That's so actually, Sam and I did it together. We did it. It was fabulous to work with Sam. So they showed us what the competitors were doing.
Yeah.
And I said to Sam,
we're not doing that.
No, worse. I said, Sam, I'm getting on the plane. I'm going back.
Oh, really?
I said, it's such a brilliant high level.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want to play good tennis, play with a better player.
Always.
Yeah. And so we just looked at this and I said, you know what? We are going to design the way we design for this client. And the way we're going to do it is to go and study the market.
Right.
And so we spent a few days going to the different places and analyzing the people. We realized how different they are to other cultures. You know, they're very
like, let's see,
fashion, very like fashion orientated, high tech. Yeah. And so we brought all of that into our inspiration. Yeah. Fashion. Yeah. And so that became our driving force. Mm-hmm. And so we get it from the actual environment. Yeah. From the spaces we're designing in, and we pull that in.
Wow, that's incredible. The story that I love that you told me a long time ago, but I've never forgotten it. I have used it so many times and told people about it. It's when a couple were getting divorced and they came to you and you walked into their bedroom, and I don't know how you got to ask that question, and it was really dreary and had these, I remember you saying like velvet curtains, and it was really drab. And you redid it and it changed their life. So tell us about that one. How did that happen?
Well, let's start by saying something really very profound. Design actually changes people's lives.
It does.
It really does. You know,
environment. If you're living in a beautiful place, you feel beautiful. If you're living in a scruffy place, you feel scruffy. It's very simple.
And before I go into that story, I've come to realize that there's something that I've brought into my mini masterclasses, and that is something called clutter. We have to address that clutter as something that stifles creativity, stops us from creating.
Draws negativity.
It draws the negativity because there's all this clutter. And if you think about what is this clutter lying around, it's unfinished things, stuff that I need to get to, things that I haven't done. And so it's draining your creative energy.
Absolutely.
So we start by uncluttering. Yeah. So now it'll get me to the story. So firstly, I think through my psychology training, you know, I'm not a psychologist, but I did study psychology. So I have a intuition into
people,
projects, my projects and my clients. And I have an understanding as to what is the actual need? What are they saying to me when they say, like what she said when she gave me the brief, she goes, I want a Hollywood bedroom. And I thought, wow, okay. And I mulled it over and I was thinking, what do we mean by Hollywood bedroom? Yeah. And then I kind of unpacked it in my mind and I realized she was looking for love.
And the relationship.
The romance.
Now, the romance.
The romance.
Yeah,
and I thought, aha, okay, I got it. So when I get that aha moment. It's okay, I've got it.
Yeah.
I went back to her and I said, and I had never met her husband, but I realized that
He was a bit of a problem.
the relationship was going through a tough time.
Yeah.
And I think she really wanted to restore things.
Yeah.
And so I said to her, okay, I'll do this on condition. There were two things. I said, I need you to move out and I need you to give me carte blanche. And she said, okay, fine, we'll move out and then I'll give you carte blanche. And I said, but within parameters. So I will show you a scheme. So when I walked in there, I thought, oh my goodness, it was like thick, heavy burgundy carpets that were this thick and scruffy. There was like the heavy velvet burgundy drapes, thick, heavy furniture. It was heavy, dull, and lacked energy, lacked soul, lacked romance.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Mm.
It was so heavy
Yeah.
and drab.
You
and
felt drab.
I felt like my energy had drained out of me, and all I wanted to do was get out of there.
Yeah.
It was really bad, but it was a beautiful space with an amazing view, but curtains that were like closed and old.
Yeah.
And I thought, let's give it the best. And so I looked at, this is important in design, is look for the gem in the room. So I looked at the gem, and the gems were, we had beautiful high ceilings. The gem was we had a beautiful view.
Yeah.
And also another gem was we had space.
Yes.
And so I said, okay, let's just gut this, get rid of the clutter. So we
pulled everything out.
Took everything out. So we started with a clean slate. Everything out. Started with cornices, skirtings, gutted the bathroom, did a full revamp, proper gutted everything, and freshened it. And beautiful. I used creams, whites, golds, soft textures, a lot of texture, just so much beauty. And also the love that I poured into it was, I wanted this to be magnificent. Yes. So we've done bubbles in the bath. We've put champagne in an ice bucket, crystal glasses.
Oh, wow.
And she hadn't seen it and he hadn't seen it. And, you know, it looked so beautiful. It looked so beautiful when it was finished. And we handed it over. And then, you know, we always put accessories and stuff in. And then I came back and the husband said to me, you know, just thank you so much.
Oh, really?
He said, thank you so much. He said, just thank you so much.
Yeah.
And they're still married.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm not saying it was my designs. I mean, it could have been,
but it
so
made them
things.
feel the energy.
But
Was there
the energy was right, you know?
Yeah.
Just the energy was just right. And I think that's what design does. It actually creates energy in a room.
Absolutely. Now, tell us about, you do personal, you know, people's residential places, and you do commercial. Which is your favorite?
That's a hard question. I've never thought of which is my favorite. I think a personal residence is much more personal.
Yes.
And so it has more of a personal impact. And corporate is, it's kind of more scientifically worked out. The hotels, when we've done big hotels, that is really scientific. You get like a big, thick manual, and that's kind of how it's got to be.
Yes.
That's X amount of fabrics you're allowed, etc. So I think within a residential space, there's more room for a lot more creativity. Yeah. And also a lot more engagement with the client, which I really do enjoy.
Because a hotel, you don't know who's going to stay.
Yeah.
So you have to make it sort of more.
So it's very structured in the design approach. Yeah. What I also enjoy about some of the residentials is getting to meet their children.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes the children can really get in the way. Yeah. And they bothersome to the parents or the mother or the father, whoever. They just like bothersome. And I think to myself, hold on, let's just change this environment. So I say to them, I need a design assistant. Please take this tape measure and I need you to help me. And so they get so involved in the process of helping me and everything that there was a little guy with one of my big clients, large residential, who was at home sick Wednesday, and he just was milling around. And I said, please hold this tape measure, do this, help me, pass me the highlighters and hold the plans. And then the next Wednesday when my appointment was, he was also sick. And then the third time, I said to his mother, "Are you sure he's sick?" She said, "No, he just loves his meetings that I can't get him to school on Wednesday."
The old days, children used to listen to their parents. Today, parents listen to
Listen
their
to
children.
Yeah.
The children are the ones who tell them what's trending, what's hip hop and happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you've got to get them involved. What I love about being older is being able to teach other people. I
Yeah.
teach all day, every day, and I know that you've taught over 2,000 students, and you've got your online teaching and all that type of thing. How did that all evolve, and do you enjoy it?
Well, I totally love it.
Yeah.
And it started very organically. Do you remember in those days we used to have Garden and Home, the
Yes.
magazine? And
Yes.
so there was an editor called Margaret Bussefal.
Oh, yes, I know
yeah,
Margaret
Margaret,
Russell.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she asked me to do a color talk, which I did. And then she asked me to do another one and another one. So eventually they were sending me all over the country to go every second week to go and address all their readers in Blikkiesfontein and Porfada, everywhere. And so my big blue van would like arrive in town, and we had the big DDR sign on it, and out would come the color wheels and the color boards, and it was like we all arrived in the town hall, and there was cakes, and we did this big color talk or design talk. And so we did this for about 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Every second Thursday. And I guess we were building up in those days what you would call followers.
Yes.
And so she then said, "Can you write a course?" So I said, "Can you put all this together in a course?" So I said, "Yeah, I could do that." And that's how it started.
Oh, wow.
So we started with our correspondence course.
Yeah.
So that was where we had, through correspondence, people would come do a whole year with us. And then we had evaluators, markers, coordinators. And so that just grew into a beautiful organic correspondence course and worked really well. And now what we're doing is people don't want to do like a whole long 1 year.
Yeah.
So I've taken my knowledge and my projects and I've started to make them into a mini series, like little mini series, which is 16 in total. And we are recording them and they'll go online.
Yeah.
So people can do those 16 and then they can go, okay, I really enjoyed that. So I want to go study design.
Yeah.
Or I love this, I've got enough to actually do my home. Or I want to do a masterclass. So then they can do a 1-hour masterclass. And so I use that pyramid I told you.
Yes.
How to get the emotional well-being into your space.
Yeah.
That's what the 16 series is about. And I also do masterclasses for a lot of the universities.
Yeah.
I do the foundations course for the architectural graduates.
Wow.
And I take them on 20 hours worth of interior design foundations.
Wow. Amazing.
So it's really using my experience, my knowledge, and honestly passing it on.
Yes.
Which
Well,
I
that's what it's
really
all
love.
about, because I always say you don't leave a legacy to someone, you leave a legacy in someone. And that's when it really works.
I love that.
Yeah, you can borrow it.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's what I think that's what we do, and especially at Hirsch's, we leave a legacy in the people that we teach, that they can go forward. And then as I spoke to one of them today, and I said, and your job now is, for me, because my whole mission in life is to get women independent. And I said, now you must go, what I've taught you must go and teach 4 more people. And then they go out to teach as well. So we really get the word out.
It's incredible what you do, Margaret. It's incredible how you take it and you just change. She just changes lives.
Yeah, I think as you get older, the beauty of getting older is that you can change lives. You can help people. I always say what took me 20, 30, 40 years to learn, I can teach you in 5 minutes. And you just, all you have to do is listen and do what I say. And they go off, and we've just had the most amazing results. We really have. Now for something fun. We're going to do a quick fire question and answer. So, as I said, don't overthink it, just come up. Color or texture?
Color.
Rules or intuition?
Intuition.
Luxury, quiet or bold?
Bold.
Design trend you secretly hate?
I can't think of one.
You love them all. Most common mistakes people make in their own home?
Over designing.
Yes, going too much. I do too much. Design is closer to art or psychology?
So psychology.
Yeah, I think so. And one thing you'll never compromise on.
Oh, so quality.
To me, quality is so important.
Oh, definitely say quality.
And you know the difference between using a design or doing it yourself. When I do it on the cheap, and it looks cheap. When you do it with quality, and it just looks so amazing. So now, Dorothy, you and I are no longer teenagers. So going forward, I must say, I'm embracing my being older. I love it. And I just love it that I don't care what people say or think about me anymore. And so I love that part of it. But tell me from your side, Dorothy, going forward, how do you see yourself going for the next 25 years?
Well, I must say I agree with you. I'm actually really enjoying being healthy at this age,
Yes,
and that I'm most grateful for.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm grateful for the fact that I am this age and healthy,
Yeah.
and I don't compromise on my gym trainer every day.
Yeah.
So I said to my trainer, please stay alive for the next 30 years. He goes, okay, okay.
I'll do that.
And yeah, so I have this vision. I want to be at my granddaughter's grandson's weddings.
Yes.
I want to impact. I want to do these mini online series that touches lives throughout the world.
Yeah.
So see an exciting future of passing on my knowledge to the next generation.
Absolutely.
And I'm really enjoying the fact that I have grandchildren.
Yes, I love my grandchildren.
And I love it when they say granny.
Yeah.
It's like such a privilege.
Yeah.
It's such an honor.
It's such an honor to be there. Mine called me Bunny, and I just love it. And now
Such
one
an
is,
honor.
and they grow so quickly. One is about 6'4", and the other one's about 6'2". So for me, they just grew up so quickly. One minute I was changing the nappies, the next one he had a moustache and driving a car. But anyway,
It's amazing.
it goes so quickly, Dorothy.
It
It's
goes so
unbelievable.
quickly.
But I think that's the nice thing about getting older. And I remember when I won Most Influential Woman in Business in 2014. I was 64, but Richard Mapanya won the top man in Africa, and he was 94 at the time. And and he gave me such inspiration because at 64, I thought, at 60s, I should be retiring.
Wow.
And then I met Richard Mapanya, who was 94 and still winning awards.
I
And
love
that gave me such inspiration.
Absolutely.
And when he died at 99, he literally died with his boots on. It's still at work,
Just
So
enjoying
that's
what
what
he does.
I want to do. And people say, when are you going to retire? Well, I have no need to
No.
retire. I have no wish to
I
retire.
don't wish to
And,
retire.
and I just am enjoying what I learned. And I go back to school in April in America to do another degree. And I just feel that
What do you study, Margaret?
I'm a realtor. I'm a licensed realtor in America, and I'm going to be a broker. So I have to go back to university to be a broker. And I just think you could never stop learning. So I say to people who are getting older, keep learning, keep supple, because that's what it's all
So
about.
important, that movement.
And keep your mind active, because that's a whole other ballgame.
And stay adventurous, be adventurous with your grandkids, be adventurous with your friends, and just continuously see color in life.
Yes.
And see
And be curious as well. Really curious.
Be
about
curious
everything.
and observant and that creativity.
So Dorothy, tell me, it's 2026 now. Everything is getting modern. What do you find is trending at the moment in decor?
What I've noticed from my experience is that people are really personalizing their spaces.
Yes.
And it's not about what's right or wrong. It's what works for the person.
Yeah.
And people are wanting to tell their story in their spaces. Yeah. And I find that more and more, that it's more about the individual and what they're creating for their space, as opposed to trying to impress the rest of the world.
Yes.
And it could be where the world is. People trying to find their identity, to have a safe haven, a sanctuary. Yeah. And so it's very much like creating personal spaces.
Yes. And I think for me, I have my safe haven, my sanctuary, which is like my bedroom and my bathroom, which are beautiful. But I also love entertaining. So I've got a beautiful big entertainment space so that I can entertain people, and hopefully they'll love it. And I have my kitchen in my dining room so that it's all one room, so that they can sit there while I cook and put the food out.
I'm
and
coming, Margaret.
Yes, you're invited anytime. So I think that's also important. The old days, when I think of my parents' home, when we had the kitchen, we shut the kitchen door, and that was it. Now everything is just in one space. And I know with my friend, when I go to her house, her husband has a big pizza oven, and he cooks everything in the pizza oven. So we sit outside around this massive pizza oven, and the food is
fabulous.
It's so nice. Yeah.
It's all about personalization and creating spaces that are safe havens.
Yes.
People
that you can enjoy.
Embracing your friends, making it spaces that tell your story.
Yeah. Fabulous. So Rosie, tell me, there might be somebody out there who feels a bit stuck. They're in a bit of a rut, and they just need something to give their whole life a bit more energy. what would you say they could do to actually give themselves that spark and to get themselves onto the next level?
Well, I think that triangle I spoke about
Yeah.
is what is it that inspires you?
Yeah.
Awaken that creativity, those
Yeah.
seeds of creativity,
Yeah.
and then go and bring that color and texture and lines and forms and shapes. Take your beautiful stuff that's all hidden in your cupboards,
Yes.
bring that out, bring some of the five senses in there, bring your personal things into your space,
Yeah.
and get rid of dead wood.
Yes.
Do you know how they cut the
Branches of
vines,
trees,
like we
yes,
say in Cape Town?
yeah.
They cut those vines, they
Yeah.
get rid of the dead wood.
Yeah, and then this.
If you're hanging on to an old sofa from your student days and it reminds you of your first love, get rid of it and move forward and treat yourself to new stuff, if necessary, or recover it if it's meaningful to you.
Yeah.
But like, see it through different lens, see it through a creative lens.
Yes.
You know, we were all born to create because it symbolizes energy, growth. And so step back, look at the gem in your room. Is it beautiful high ceilings? Is it your view?
I love a chandelier.
Is
Love
it,
a chandelier.
yeah, you know, what makes you happy? Decant, unclutter, throw out photos of your old boyfriend, get rid of books of when you were a student, and just start afresh. Breathe fresh energy into it.
Yes.
You know,
I think
it's about the energy.
But I like that
Breathe the
part
fresh
of
energy.
gussing the place, actually taking everything out.
Get out, get
and
it.
starting fresh and starting with white walls and then
Fresh,
just working it.
fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just get rid of stuff. Because I think we kind of feel like, I need to keep that granny's chair. I must keep that. And if it's really sentimental, go and buy a most stunning modern fabric and recover it.
Yes.
So it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then it's got a happy memories, you know, attached to that memory.
Absolutely. Dorothy, the saying is less is more, but I put all my jewelry on. I do put everything on when I go out. My bag is always full, as you all know. Is there some sort of secret to design what you can actually take out of a room to make it actually look better?
Well, we keep coming back to clutter. Get rid of clutter.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and things that are meaningless.
Yes.
You know, and surround yourself with beauty. Surround yourself with things that you really love. And really be ruthless with things that remind you of negative experiences.
Yes. Yeah, just have the
and then you'll just have this like unloading of emotional baggage.
Yeah, and have beautiful fresh flowers. Nobody will buy you flowers, buy your own flowers every week. Have real fruits in the fruit bowl and look at
Fragrances.
And the fragrance of the candle going.
Fresh air.
Lighting. It's got to be light
Natural
and bright.
light.
Yes.
Natural light. Let the
air blow
through it. Yes. You know, literally let the air blow through it and blow all the
cobwebs
out. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's been amazing chatting to you today. Lovely chatting to you. Fabulous. And there's still so much I would love to chat about. I'd love to chat about your daughter who's the architect, your other daughter who's the human rights lawyer. I mean, just so well done for bringing those girls up literally on your own. To all those years. And now you're a grand and you've got beautiful grandchildren. And it's amazing.
And it's so good to see you again, Margaret.
Yeah, wonderful,
really,
wonderful.
You. Thanks for the opportunity.
And I think as you get older, your friends become so important.
They become important.
Because, you know, as Dolly Parton says, you can't make all friends. So thank you so much for being on the show, and we look forward to it. And I'll see you next week with another exciting guest. Thank you.